Hi, I wanted to talk to you guys about the mother of all gigs, the 4-hour set. I know a lot of you are out there in clubs doing this every night or every weekend, and it's tough. Um, the reason this kind of came up, I've been thinking about it for a while, but this article on Facebook caught my attention where a band leader was frustrated with with setting themselves up for failure by playing these 4-hour gigs. The frustration and pressure came in because of having to hold an audience's attention for 4 hours. And if you don't, the club owners think you're not doing your job. So it's tough for a cover band to avoid being the typical bar band with all that you've got to do to please the crowd and the venue for that length of time. And it's a vicious cycle that's hard to jump out of, especially if you're wanting to do your originals. But that's a whole other blog. We can address that and that part of it another time. But his solution for this challenge, the main thing at number 1, was create a show worth seeing. Of course. Hallelujah, he got that right. Of course, those of you that are familiar with what we teach know this is key. There's a big difference between doing a great show and stringing a bunch of songs together. And that starts by the right song arrangements to create moments in your set. Allowing space for some things to pop out and grab the audience so that they'll stick around. For example, let's say one of your covers has a great guitar solo, but it's maybe just 8 bars. What if you would expand that? Say the guitar player plays 8 bars of a solo, then your second guitar player comes in and answers with 8 bars, or fiddle player, horn player, harmonica player, singer. This could be a back and forth thing. 8 bars, 8 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 2 bars, 2 bars. Expand it, make it epic. This is going to generate a moment. It's interaction with each other and a really cool musical moment. And the second thing it does is expands your set a bit. Maybe your singer needs a good long break from singing. That long solo gives them a chance to catch their breath, get some water, hang out. And it's a crowd pleaser, so if you can pull it off, it's great. If you don't play lead, then don't try it. And say you want to work on creating a different moment. Well, what about a fun mashup? This can be 2 covers of maybe from different eras. I recently worked with a band that mashed Renegade by Styx and the song Renegades by Ex-Ambassadors, and it worked really, really well. It was amazing. Classic with new. So thinking outside the box like that is great. So if you have some of these moments throughout your set, even if you can only start with 2 or 3 per set, it's going to make a huge difference and keep the audience there to see what you're going to pull off next. It's important, but start out, sprinkle them throughout your set, and as you have more and more time to work on them, you'll hopefully get the chance to do several moments in each set. So spend some time working on that. Another point in this article was that professionals use set lists. Well, yes, they do. Now, this doesn't mean you can't make a change on the fly. If something's not working, if the crowd's not with you, you got to make a change. That's fine. But it keeps you from standing there looking like a dork when you're like asking each other, what should we do next? Or, don't do that. Have a set to start with. And don't give in to the temptation not to do certain songs just because you're tired of them. Pros do songs that the audience came to hear and that get a great response every time. even if it's the 100th time, the 1000th time you've done it. If they're coming back for those songs, keep them in the set. I know you're tired of playing them, but your live show is about the audience, so don't forget that. There's a band that plays Lower Broad here in Nashville 4 times a week, 4 nights a week at least, and they play basically the same group of songs, not always in the same order, but lots of classic country. And they're known for this really tricked out version of Ghost Rider that they play every night at around 8:50. And the place gets really packed right before that because they know this guitar player is going to play the snot out of this song. And it's an epic moment, and he just freaks out and people go crazy over it. So it's a crowd pleaser. People come back for it. So think about those moments. Making your show visually interesting, of course. Start by making sure that the songs look different from each other. If you're just standing in the same place for every song, you're not making any friends. You're not holding their attention. Make sure you're true to what the song sounds like. Should you be running around the stage because it's like a really crazy song? Should you be sitting on stools if it's an intimate moment, touching song? Are you interacting with each other? So think of it in terms as if you were running lights for the band. You wouldn't have big flashing crazy lights on a really slow song. By the same token, in reverse, you wouldn't have just a blue light on a song that's like a pedal to the metal, a hard driving thing. So stay true to what the song sounds like with your visuals. Now this ties in to when it comes to lights and special effects. Yes, those things will add a lot to your show, but only after you work to create the moments. Otherwise, it's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig. Yeah, it'll, the lights will be pretty and the fog's cool, but it's not going to fix your set. It's not going to make it that much more interesting. It can enhance what you've already got. If you're really doing some great things, it'll just work to enhance those moments. Try to stand out from other bands in what you wear too. If you're competing with other bands on the same circuit, club owners probably going to take notice if you care about the way you look. If you're kind of maybe have a cohesive look going on, either the same color scheme or at least look like you're in the same band. So you don't want somebody looking like, a couple guys looking like Bon Jovi and a couple guys looking like they're in the Lumineers. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So talk about that stuff, work it out, and do some planning. Because the way you look does send a message, and it gives off an impression. Are these guys pro? Or are they just hacks? And you don't want to look like every other band. Trust me, that rolled out of bed, I don't care look, it's over. Played and done. Let's move on. Playing a 4-hour set, of course, too, involves the fact that you will be talking to the audience. In any set, you're going to say something to the audience, but saying the right things, interesting things is key. Knowing when to talk, when not to talk. Too much talking can turn people off, trust me. And too little leaves us disappointed because we want to get to know you. I'm always steering bands away from typical bar banter lines like, oh, we're going to slow things down here, or how you guys doing tonight? Hello, Cleveland. We're going to play a little Tom Petty now. Ugh, those things don't tell me anything about you or the song. So tell us why you chose the song. Maybe you've been a Tom Petty fan since you were 10, or your dad took you to one of his shows and you never forgot how it made you feel. That's the stuff that will make us listen and care. Another thing you can do to rule at these sets is have fun. You've got to interact with the crowd from the stage and involve them on some songs. Have them clapping or singing along. Take pics of the crowd, a selfie of you from the stage with the crowd in the background, post them on social media. Tell them to like your page and tag themselves. This gives off the feeling that you care about the audience, little stuff like this. And they'll want to show up again and bring their friends. If they come back, the club owner wants you back every time. But you need to make your band hireable and desirable. And be the most sought after band a club owner could hire. All right? You got that? Good. Now get to work. Have fun.